In this episode of Threading Thoughts, we talk about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, or information technology security, is designed to protect networks, programs, data, and devices from attack or damage or even unauthorized access. These cyber attacks are usually aimed at accessing, changing, and sometimes even destroying very sensitive information. In some cases, it can extend to extorting money as well or interrupting normal business processes. Implementing effective cybersecurity measures is particularly challenging today because there are many more devices and the attackers are becoming more innovative. Dr. Sriram is a senior management executive with over 2 decades of global experience in the IT, ICT, telecom industry with an excellent track record of progressive achievements. Expertise in building high performance organizations that enable and catalyze business and information strategy. He published a book titled Business Innovation and ICT Strategies, and he headed the information sciences at T-Hub and has leadership experience in reputed technology companies such as Oracle, VeriSign, Hewlett-Packard, Siemens, and TechSpan. So glad, Dr. Sriram, that you could join us today. It's really an honor talking to you, and thank you so much for taking time off.
Sure, welcome. Yeah.
So, Dr. Sriram, how can public-private partnerships create a secure cyberspace?
So, public-private partnerships are really the crux of the entire cybersecurity ecosystem. Because number one, there has to be adequate policy, and policies usually follow technology, meaning that there are new technologies which have come into picture. So therefore, there need to be new policies to handle this. And if you look at the past few years, there have been a slew of policies here which are shaping up in India. Whether you take the drones policy or the AI policy or the privacy laws that are coming in, with this privacy law which is coming in, personal data protection bill is for personal data. There is another one coming in which is for non-personal data. Okay. Plus, Prime Minister Modi had already mentioned that in his 15th August speech, there will be new cyber laws coming in. So our IT and the cyber laws will also take shape in an absolutely new form. So this is what is required. And of course, you have the other set of policies which have to do with the larger ecosystem. For example, startups. Okay, there was an Insolvency and Bankruptcy Act in order to protect the investors into startups. All this will boost startups in the cybersecurity and privacy space. So, be it technology or the industry or in the talent pool development, okay, this public-private partnership is very much required. For example, now AICTE has approved BTech in cybersecurity. So that enables all the institutes to give BTech in cybersecurity. So whether it is on investment side or business side or technology or the talent development, okay, this side you would see that public-private partnerships play a very big role. Now, when it comes to B2G projects, there should be a real concerted effort to ensure that these new technologies, startups can also take part in the procurement process. Okay, and in safeguarding the government assets, which is an obvious thing where public-private partnership is required, and also for law enforcement agencies and for the government and defense, especially. A lot of these projects which are there and the products. Right now, there is this Atmanirbhar Bharat which is going on, and you can very well see that it will have a big boost on our ecosystem, on our industry. So this is what is really required. Where should you take those measures? Where should government enable investment to flow in? Where should it boost technology? And also there are entities like CDAC and all which do some fundamental research in these several areas. So that will also help the government. Okay, so that's how it all works out, the public-private partnership.
Fascinating, because you have shown the case for a very, very strong, bind between public and private. And I think getting them together is the best way forward, right? The best of both that you
Yes, absolutely. because this is a public thing runs on the, let's say, tax money, and it's best invested in areas of growth and the emerging technologies. Invest in areas where it would have a non-linear impact on the economy. For example, digitalization, right? So digital India initiatives, which will enable the bottom of the pyramid people to participate in all the digital initiatives, whether you take Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, eSeva, MeSeva, all of these things, right? Yeah.
Fascinating. And how have the latest technologies helped curb cyber crimes? I mean, of course, you would be able to say specific examples, but how have they actually helped? Although they've also created. So
it is, I'll take very simple example. See, for example, the scale and sophistication of the threats have really grown. Okay, and the attack surface has really increased. Okay, as you are racing towards digitalization, you're consuming more and more of the digital products, whether you are booking a cab or whether you are getting entertained or you are doing your work online, especially in all these work from home scenarios. You're doing banking and financial transactions online, okay, and you're getting educated online. So many things, many of this. So the value of the assets has really gone up. Digital assets have gone up. So because all your bank accounts are online and everything. So with this in mind, you would really think that there are no borders there. Okay, anyone from another country can attack. Okay, and the level of sophistication has really grown. That means you have malware that once it goes in, it realizes that it is in a simulated environment, it will not activate itself. The moment it knows that it is in the production live environment, it will activate itself. Okay. The moment it knows that it is in a certain geography, it will activate itself. For example, if it is in China, it will not activate. If it is in India, it will get activated. Such malwares are there, and they are so deceptive that they are hidden by layers and layers, as many as 10 layers of defense. Okay, they hide themselves. So, which is very, very difficult to detect. So now you take, assume, for example, you're attacked at some 2 a.m. in the night. Okay, before you realize that malware has spread through the network. Okay, hence you need to have automated defense. That's why automation is very important. You need AI and behavioral AI, especially for identity and access management, because someone could have stolen your password, but the way you type the password and the way you do things, it's not merely biometrics, but it is there's a certain fingerprint which you have in the way you do things. So it will detect that based on, there are softwares which have taken into account some 50-60 parameters and then detect that it is you or it is not you.
Oh, wow.
Then it would put you through additional ones if it is really changing. I mean, if something has gone amiss. Okay, so in that sense, AI is surely one technology. Okay, blockchain is another one. Okay, which you really would take it seriously. Deep learning, machine learning, and deep learning, which are there. Okay, analytics is another area which is extremely popular. The upcoming areas would be quantum computing and so on, but which are a little bit in the future. But people are working on it. Cryptography, it's the old one, but there's so many new flavors that you can't imagine. That it's also a very cutting edge area. Okay, so these are the areas. I would really urge you to engage more with people who are listening to this podcast, to engage more with DSCI to understand that what are all the new areas coming up in each one of these things, whether it is IoT, a big one, because you would need to automate in the process of automation. And especially from work from home and all these scenarios, a lot of population will need to work offline. And we need things remotely. So in that, your infra can get hacked. So to protect the critical infrastructure, that is also very much required. And you have in cloud computing and in areas like forensics, all of these have cutting edge tools and technologies which take into account several of the advancements which are happening in the industry, and they would qualify very much to be at the forefront.